That seems kind of scurry. Are you ready for the new what? Hello everybody, it's JoJo, your favorite gold coach, and I hope you're all doing well, and hopefully my internet stays stable long enough for me to record this video. Some idiot hit a light pole in my area, and my internet has been spotty all day, but I'm not playing any competitive, so hopefully it stays stable long enough. Anyway, let's talk about tanking. As many of you guys know, I was a tank main for roughly 9 years of the time that I was playing this game. I took a couple of years off here and there, but every time I played the game, practically from the time I started playing the game, I was a tank main. Now, back in Overwatch 1, I was a main tank main, which means that I mained characters like Rhine, Winston, Ball when he came out. You know, all of these very hyper-aggressive initiator tanks. I was never one for the off-tanking role. That was usually my duo. They would play Zarya and D.Va while I handled all of this. But one off-tank that I always loved playing was Roadhog. Back in the off-tank days, Roadhog was this really stupid character, because while your main tank was over here fighting in the front lines, being a pain in the ass, you were over here insta-deleting squishies and getting people to really, really rage. And if you can tell by my mains of Junkrat, Reaper, and Venture, I love rage baiting the enemy. In any case, whenever the shift to Overwatch 2 happened, one of the big things that they tried to do was turn every off tank into a main tank. With the solo tank role in the 5v5 role lock, you kind of had to have every tank be a main tank. Now, I know that in a lot of people's heads, the ideas of a main tank and an off tank have to do with shields. Like if a tank has a shield, then that is a main tank, but that's not necessarily the case. This is why you have people that think that back when double shield was a thing, which was how Orisa worked in Overwatch 1 with her placeable shield, which is now her perk, and Sigma, they think that this is two main tanks. These are not two main tanks. Orisa was a main tank and Sigma was an off tank. This is just how the classifications work. But in order for them to make off tanks viable in the 5v5 format, they had to give all of them this kind of heavy initiator type survivability. Unfortunately, they simply didn't do that. They tried a little bit. They micro-buffed D.Va a little bit. They gave Sigma a little bit more survivability. They gave Zarya the 2 shareable bubbles so that she can kind of do both, you know, double bubble herself, double bubble her teammates, things like that. But the one character that I feel like they never really gave a good to honest try in reworking was Roadhog. Roadhog's biggest problem has always been that he does not provide much for the team. He demands a lot of resources from the team, especially in the 5v5 format, but he doesn't provide much from the team outside of that. Outside of that hook that's on an 8-second cooldown, Roadhog legitimately can do nothing else. I can pull a squishy, I can delete a squishy if I don't miss my shot, and that's it. That's about it. Now, the act of just hooking someone and pulling them in is fun. That motion is fun. It's fun for people. That's why you have people who main Roadhog, because this is just simply fun to do. The problem with Roadhog, like I said, is that he doesn't provide enough for his team. Roadhog demands all of the team's resources while providing nothing in return. If you look at a different tank character that demands a lot of the team's resources, for example, Junker Queen. Junker Queen is also a tank that demands a lot of resources. Because she is so small and because she doesn't output a shitload of damage, okay, maybe she does output a lot of damage, I'm kind of stupid, but because she's so small and because a lot of her stuff has to do with up close, dealing a lot of damage right in the enemy's faces, and she doesn't really have anything outside of Gracie to close that gap on the enemies, it's very difficult for JQ to get any resources without having at least one person pocketing her. So what does JQ provide for the team? Well, for one thing, she provides the shout. The shout gives a shitload of overhealth, it gives a speed boost to her teammates, and it also allows her to survive a little bit longer and allow the supports to do other things that they're supposed to do other than hard focusing on helping her. On top of that, her continuous damage is more self-sustained for her to do something proactive while she is self-sustaining herself inside of the game. Another character that demands a lot of resources from their team would be somebody like Mauga. What does Mauga provide? Well, Mauga provides the dash and jump and slam, which stuns enemies. He provides a massive output of damage, not only from close range with the double fire, but I think that a lot of players, especially low rank players, really underestimate how powerful this long range gun is. Like, this is genuinely insane. You are a hit scan tank hero, which means that you can deal with stuff from very far away with a lot of relative ease. So Mauga has a lot of strengths in the short range, he has it in the mid range, he has it in the long range. Mauga is able to deal with a lot of stuff at different ranges, and on top of that, he has his cardiac overdrive, which not only heals himself, helps with his self-sustain, but also heals his allies. So even though Mauga is another one that's basically unkillable while he's got pocket supports, he does provide a lot for his team. He provides a lot of self-sustain, a lot of damage in the long, mid, and short range, and so he does that. I could go on and on with characters. Character like Reinhardt, obviously he has the shield, he has the pin to stun people, he's got the ability to pin back and peel for his supports, so even though Ryan is another one that requires a lot of resources, he has a lot to provide for the team. But Roadhog just simply doesn't. He doesn't have anything. The only thing he has is this. It's just that. It's the hook on an 8-second cooldown. And that seems like it would provide a lot of value, but especially in modern day Overwatch, there's so many ways to either dodge the hook, deny the hook from happening through barriers, or I was playing Roadhog on Rialto a couple days ago, and I kept getting denied by the enemy Zarya. I had to swap off of the Hog because the enemy Zarya would just bubble her teammates. And a lot of people don't realize this, but the one-shot combo for Hog is so precise that if you just manage to heal the person that he hooks, like you get like a couple of, maybe you get like a Lifeweaver Blossom or a couple of BAP shots in while they're being hooked, that heals up this little bit of damage that he does, which can actually prevent his one shot from going off. So it's very easy to save people from the hook. It's very easy to dodge the hook, to deny the hook. And if you don't kill them, then you've got 8 more seconds. Is it 7 or 8? Am I stupid? It's 6 seconds. You've got 6 more seconds. I've been saying 8 this whole time. I'm actually dumb as fuck. It's 6 more seconds until you're able to actually do something useful and productive. And that's kind of the whole issue. With characters like Junker Queen, Reinhardt, Mauga, they all are able to do things productive and proactively without having to wait for super long times. You've got the cycle of cooldowns with Junker Queen, you've got Mauga's insane damage output, and the fact that his critical self-sustains himself. With Ryan, his barrier is incredibly powerful for enabling his DPS, and he's also able to get in there and do massive amounts of cleave damage with his swing. But for Roadhog, you just don't have that, right? You have the hook, and that's all you have. That's all you have, and I'm sorry to all the Hog mains out there that got upset in my tier list video, but this simply does not provide enough value for the team. This is why I largely consider Hog to be the worst tank in the game, because of the fact that he just simply has nothing to give his team. The only thing outside of this hook that he has is his whole Hog. This is probably one of the best ults in the game for displacing enemies, and it's not even close. I would say, honestly, this is the best. That is the best ult in the game for displacing enemies. It shreds through barriers. It absolutely destroys other tanks. If you do an Orisa Fortify, and you are like, oh yeah, I'll just Fortify through the whole Hog, you will die. You will die very quickly, because this outputs a massive amount of damage. It does a massive amount of pushback and spread. Probably the best displacement ult in the game, like I said. However, because it's an ultimate, I don't really consider that to be something that's worth, you know, picking Hog for. You don't pick Hog for the whole Hog, you pick him for this hook. Like I said, for a lot of people, this is just fun. So how do we fix this? How do we fix the idea of Hog not providing enough for his team? How would I change this? Well, the first thing that I want to say is that I wasn't around when they removed Pigpen. I did use Pigpen when they first put it into the game for a little bit, but I wasn't around then. So I don't actually know why they removed Pigpen, and I don't know the community's problems with it. But what I do know is that I wouldn't have given him Pigpen to begin with anyway, right? What I was thinking is, first off, we need to bring back the ability for his secondary and his primary to be on the same shot. I thought that was really unique and really cool, and it gave Hog a lot of versatility without having to waste more ammo, right? I think that the ability to, you know, close range shot somebody like this, but it would also travel very far, I think that was great. I think we need to bring that back. Put his take a breather back on his right click and keep the resource meter, because that is really, really cool, really good. Very good buff for Hog to have the take a breather on a resource meter. Absolutely love it. So what do we give him for his E? Well, I've thought of two options, and I'm going to give you the fun option and the option that's probably a lot more viable. The fun option is an ability that I would like to call the belly bop. Not the belly flop, the belly bop. The belly bop would be a dynamic ability that changes based on whether or not you recently used your hook. So at its base core, if you would press the E, the belly bop would, you know, shove your belly forward, and it would knock enemies back, say about 10 meters, right? It's not very far. 10 meters is from here to there. So you can basically just knock enemies away from your team. This is very similar to how Domina's shove works, where it's just a very quick and knocks people away from your team. Now, why would you want to knock people away from your team on a shotgun character? Well, first off, you're going to have this secondary fire in your base kit on your left click, so it really doesn't matter if they're knocked away 10 meters or not. You're going to have that little bit of range that you need, which is great and amazing and awesome. But number two, it also allows Hog to play within his team more and help them sustain a lot more. I know a lot of people want to do something like putting the take a breather on, like, oh, when you do that, it also heals his team. I don't mind that, but we're going to talk about take a breather more in a moment after I'm done with this new ability. Now, the other part of the belly bop ability would be that if you use it within 0.75 seconds of hooking someone, you, instead of knocking the opponents away, knock them up into the air 5 meters, right? So imagine being able to hook somebody in, belly bop, they go up, and then you could do like this. It gives your team a lot more abilities to follow up with you. It would be really funny. It would just be absolutely freaking hilarious. I think that that would probably be one of the coolest abilities ever, but I can see why some Hog mains might not like that. But the reason that I like the ability so much, not just because it's funny, but because it gives Hog the ability to kind of maneuver the enemies around his team, right? So when you have other displacement takes like Doom and Wrecking Ball, they're not really doing anything around the team, right? So if we pick Doom, just for example, your job isn't, you know, your team's fighting over here, they're fighting these guys. Your job is to not let these guys get close to your team at all, right? Your job is to keep these guys far away from your team, keep the back line distracted so that your team can burn down the tank. Your job is never to play within your team. But imagine a tank who can draw the targets you want in your team into your team, but push the targets that you don't want into your team away from your team. I think that would add so much dynamic to the character, and he becomes a lot more of a displacement tank, sure, but I don't think that that's a bad thing, right? We don't need tanks to be able to instantly delete squishies all the time. As cool as that is and as cool as it feels, I would still love the ability to just displace the enemy. Now, before we talk about the other ability that I had in mind, let's talk about the take a breather. I understand people want the take a breather to be able to heal his teammates. That just seems like the logical response. I think it was a perk when perks got first introduced. I don't know, I wasn't playing at that time. So I can understand that a lot of people would want that. I, however, think that that's a bad idea. And listen, hear me out. The reason I think it's a bad idea is because healing is just nowhere near as strong as it used to be, especially with the global DPS passive. I don't think healing your teammates is a great idea, but what would be a good idea is if it gradually gave them overhealth, right? So right now, the take a breather heals you for 150 per second over 3 seconds, which comes out to 450 healing per second. What if we took it to where it gave your teammates overhealth but it did it gradually, right? So it might overextend them at full health so that you can engage a little bit better, or it might keep them alive throughout a fight. It's not a burst of overhealth like JQ or Ball Shout, but it is still overhealth that you're giving your team. So while you're healing yourself up in the middle of your team, you're dragging the enemies into your team so that your team can take care of them, you are constantly keeping them alive while keeping yourself alive. This provides a lot of power for the team and gives them all big survivability. Now they can only get up to a max of, like I said, 100, maybe 150, and it'll probably will add some decay rate that's, you know, maybe pretty fast or something like that. But at the end of the day, I think that that would be an amazing change. However, I know you're interested in the other ability. I say you bring back Pigpen, but make it an actual Pigpen, right? Make it an actual pen. So instead of throwing this little box on the ground or whatever that explodes and shoots out electricity, imagine if pressing E caused you to lay out like an expanding wall. Now this wall wouldn't be very high. It would be, you know, you would be able to still jump over it, right? So you can walk and then jump and then actually jump over it, but it would be too tall for you to walk over. So it would be something that you could basically entrap somebody in, and they have to make the conscious effort to jump out of whatever you're in. Now, what happens inside this area? I mean, really nothing. But I think instead of it just like coming up in a ring around Roadhog, it could be something that expands from Roadhog. So maybe he like shoots something at the ground, he throws something at his feet or whatever, and it explodes, and then this like slow, it just kind of expands, right? Not maybe slowly, maybe fast. I think fast, right? So he throws it at the ground, it goes like that, and it just expands, and it deals damage to enemies that it passes through, but it also could maybe push them back, or if we don't want to do the push it back, it just kind of passes through enemies, and it does that expansion. And basically what this does is it means I hook somebody in, I throw this Pigpen down, it does a little bit of damage to them, and then they have a harder time getting away from my team. And it doesn't have to be a big ring. I would say maybe 5, maybe 7 meters around the hog. Just something to keep the enemies within his effective range of a shotgun, just making it way harder for him to deal with, right? Whether it be the belly bop or it be the reworked Pigpen, I think either one of those two abilities plus the take a breather change would just give Hog so much more to actually work with when he's running around, so he's not super reliant on this hook. This hook is just, I'm sorry, like this is all he is. This is all he is. This is his whole identity, and it could be fun for Hog players, but realistically speaking, I suck at this game. Realistically speaking, it's just not fun for anyone else. It's not fun for the Hogs team. It's not fun for the enemy team. It's not fun for anybody. Nobody likes playing against or with a Hog because he provides absolutely nothing for his team while demanding all the resources. And yeah, that's my thoughts on Hog. That's how I would fix Roadhog. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'm terribly sorry for the fact that my green screen is off center, but I didn't notice until halfway through the video, so what are you going to do? And as always, a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today, get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.